Assalamualaikum to Dr. Junaida Binti Abdul Karim. My name is Mazwin from Group 5 and today my group is going to present question 5. For this presentation, I am the presenter 1, meanwhile Damia who writes the storyboard and slide editor, Syamimi as a video editor. Then, we have Nazurah as presenter 2 and script writer for the presentation, and lastly Facruniisa as the slide editor 2. This is our case and we have divided this presentation into 4 parts, which are legal principles, argument, applications, and conclusion. After this, I am going to present legal principles. Next, let's move on to legal principles. Firstly, it is an agency by necessity. Agency by necessity is a legal arrangement in which one party can act as the other's primary decision, marker up until a formal agent such as a guardian or someone with power of attorney is appointed. It is stated under the Section 142 Contracts Act 1950. In the view of the court, emergencies frequently necessitate agency. For instance, agency of necessity might permit a lawyer, parent, or spouse to make decisions on behalf of a person who is disabled due to illness and unable to make important financial or retirement decisions. However, Chong is not really under the agency of necessity because he did not communicate with Ibrahim, even though he knew that he would not accept the durians as most of it are alright and unpalatable. He knew that he would reject those durians, but he did not inform Ibrahim earlier. Therefore, he cannot act as an agent of necessity under this situation.
For the argument section, we take the example case from the Springer versus Great Western Railway Corporation. The court held that the defendants were not acting as agents of necessity given this set of circumstances. Based on the Springer versus Great Western Railway Corporation, the plaintiff had requested that the defendant, a railway company, with the task of transporting tomatoes from Channel Island to London. They were expected to ship the mentioned tomatoes from Channel Island while from the Weymouth to London. They were transported by train. The bad weather caused the defendants to be held up for 3 days at Channel Island. Because the defendants' employees were on strike, there was no one to offload the tomatoes when the ship arrived at Weymouth. Since the railway company was concerned that the tomatoes might spoil as a result of the delays, it sold them locally without informing the plaintiff. The defendants argue that there were agents of necessity when the plaintiff filed a lawsuit against the defendants of breach of contract regarding the transportation of the tomatoes. For our question case, Chong cannot act as an agent as there is no communication between Chong and Ibrahim on what to do with the overripe durians. Therefore, he does not have the permission nor the authority to sell the durians. Next, for the application, the court will determine that Chong was not acting as an agent of necessity as his task is only to send the durian to Singapore and not to sell them. In this case, Chong did not attempt to communicate with the durian's owners, which is Ibrahim. The court shall decide that no agency by necessity arose and Ibrahim can claim damages from Chong. Lastly, to summarize, Chong acted as an agent of necessity when it was unnecessary. His logic was he knew that Lim will not take the delivery since it had been stranded for 5 days and Lim will only accept durians which are young with the cluster of fruit within shall still crisp. However, he did not make any attempt to contact Ibrahim to inform him of his current situation. Selling them without any instruction from Ibrahim seemed to backfire Chong as he now breaches their contract under Section 142, Contracts Act 1950. As a result, Ibrahim can claim the loss from Chong because of his own mistake for not discussing with Ibrahim the durian owner. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy our presentation.